Hi guys, what is up? Welcome back to another yet makeup video. Now today I decided to do this really cool kind of like makeup hack that you guys have seen probably all over social media this past week. However, there is one single thing that I couldn't see anyone doing, and honestly, if you're gonna skip that step, this hack will just not work for you. And it is a really great hack to use or to do just in general, just in case you don't want to bake or you don't want all the layers of, like the powder and to look cakey and all this kind of stuff. So it is really a great hack, but to be honest, if you will skip this one step, I mean, your skin will just not accept this hack in a way. And also, nonetheless, a lot of people kind of like use some items that are super expensive and are not really affordable. And as you may know, different products have different formulation, and due to that, some products just don't play well with each other, and that they can cause like the patches or the roll-ups that you're gonna have from the foundation and all this kind of jazz. So obviously, I decided to pair some items that are actually more affordable for you guys to use. So without further ado, let's just move into the video. First step in this hack, in order for that to work really well and make your skin looks really flawless, and I know this sounds or seems really too obvious, and once you're gonna hear it, you're gonna be like, sis, we already knew that. But trust me, I thought I was okay yesterday. Apparently I wasn't, because I kind of used some, one of these like peeling pads, but then again, it's not strong enough, I guess. So I had some buildups from previous days. I had some dead skin, all this kind of jazz. And so once I was already at the step where I was supposed to be having my foundation on, everything kind of rolled down and I had so many patches, and it was just like heartbreaking, because imagine preparing your skin for like, good old 10 minutes, and then, sis, you really need to go and wash your face. It's a no. So anyways, the first thing that I used for that hack was definitely this one, the Mia, the Clarisonic one. Now, I'm aware that this brush may be a little bit pricey, but in my opinion, first of all, it's worth the investment. So if you are kind of looking to get this type of brush, I think that it's really worth the investment. This one specifically came with like different 4 heads, and it's like the Smart Mia, and it has so many settings, so many options. You can apply a foundation with that, so many things that you can do. But just in case that you guys don't know, there are so many kind of like dupes for that. Of course, they're not comparable in no way, shape, or form, because this one specifically, it's gonna stop once you need to move to the other part of your face, and the other ones just doesn't do that, not that I know of. But then again, you can always like time up yourself and like, kind of like do 10 seconds on this side, 10 seconds on this side, and move forward with that. But this is such an important step, and honestly, if you're gonna have any buildup on your skin, if you're gonna have any dead skin, this trick will not work for you. So from here, we're pretty much just going to follow the steps of the hack. But as I mentioned, I kind of decided to take a few other products and just make sure that they are all working together, because as you may know, if you ever tried to use a serum underneath your foundation or even hyaluronic acid or any of that, then you probably ran into some issues, specifically if you have certain type of skin, and then you maybe had some patches and just your foundation just didn't sit well. And the reason for that is because your foundation did not really play well with that serum. So anyways, for the first step, I decided to take this First Aid Beauty, and to be honest, I really do enjoy this foundation. It's super affordable. It's kind of like $14 in Sephora. I personally really like it. I kind of feel like this is a must-have, and also, just so you guys know, it's great for sensitive skin. So for me, once again, it's a win-win situation. I absolutely love it. I also take it with me to my vacations, just in case I get sunburns. So now for the second step, I'm going to be using the Laura Mercier powder. I kind of feel like this one is a staple really, and probably most of you have that. Now for those of you who don't have that and are interested in something that is way more affordable, the Airspun is absolutely a great powder. I absolutely love it, and I think it's really great. But as you can see, now another mistake that I saw happening is that people think that this is the baking part. Absolutely not. All you should use is literally nothing to have on your brush. Just like literally dab it like so easily so that you can barely have, you know, like any product on your brush at all. And yeah, pretty much this is gonna do the job. So you want to make sure that you have as little as possible on your brush. You definitely don't need a lot. So moving into the next step, which is the setting spray, I'm going to be using the Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray. But just so you guys know, the NYX works just as good with all the products I just apply or mention. You know, so if you're gonna go, for example, with this moisturizer and then with the Airspun and then the NYX, you should be good to go. The only reason that as of right now, they're not on this table, but I have tried it this entire week, it's because I have another bag for my travel and I'm currently packing for my vacation, so there's that. But for this demonstration, I'm gonna be using this, but as I mentioned, this is going to be good for what I just mentioned. Now moving on to another really important step, you want to make sure that the setting spray is actually set and dry before you move on to the next step. So now after my skin is dry, pretty much I'm going to move to the primer. Now, just so you guys know, yes, I'm going to use the Tatcha one, the Silk Canvas. Now I know that this is not affordable by no mean, but then again, as I mentioned, it does have a dupe, which is the ELF one, which I'm sure you all know, and it's only $8. So I'll make sure that I'm gonna leave it down below for you guys, but for this demonstration, of course, I'm going to use this one, but then again, they work just as good. Now, the way that I like to apply this primer is pretty much just take it on my fingers and kind of like work it in to kind of like warm it up. And then pretty much just take it and tap it all over my skin. But then again, you can definitely do the exact same thing with the one from ELF. So now that my skin is pretty much prepped and everything is ready to go, I'm going to be taking my all-time favorite, the NARS foundation. You already know, if you've been following me for like a year and a half now, then you already know that this is like the only one that I'm using. And then again, I'm using my beauty blender, so nothing new here. But then you will be able to see how nicely the foundation apply on my skin, and it really looks like a second skin almost, and it just looks absolutely stunning. Do you guys see this application? On purpose, once again, I wanted everything to be on camera so that you guys can see it and pretty much, you know, try it for yourself. And then again, as I mentioned, with all the dupes, I kind of feel like this is really kind of like an affordable way to do that. But then, I mean, do you guys see that? Look at this side versus this side. This side is like so happy right now and thriving, honestly. Now, another thing that I do want to mention, as you guys saw, my skin is really far out from being perfect. I have acne scars, I have pigmentation, I have all of that. But as you guys can see, this really works magic as long as you really, you know, exfoliate your skin. Obviously, you don't really need to exfoliate your skin every single day. But then if you do have buildups, as I mentioned, you're going to have really hard time to apply this to yourself. But then, as you can see, it's applied the foundation so flawlessly. I mean, look at that. And then again, your makeup just gonna stay throughout the whole day. But here's something that I am going to say. If you live in a very humid environment, I honestly do not know. You might have to just like, you know, still set it with a little bit of more powder, just like at the end, but nothing, you know, such as of baking or any of that. You definitely will not need to bake, that's for sure. So even if you do live in a very humid environment, just really, you not even have to, but you might need, you know, to set it one more time, or if you do have a very oily skin. But as I mentioned, I'm actually going on vacation and it's actually a very humid place and environment, so I'll definitely be able to test it there. So I will definitely let you guys all know in the vlog how this is going, so, you know, so that you guys can know if it actually stays during the entire day. I tested it here in LA for about a week. It was absolutely great, and I mean, look at my skin right now. So now, since we are already speaking about hacks and tricks and tips and all this kind of stuff, I am really going to say one more thing in regards to concealer. If you do have, you know, some dark circles under your eyes or any of that, if you will be taking a concealer that is way lighter than you, you will just accentuate all this darkness underneath. So recently I started to just either use my foundation as my concealer as well, or here's the thing, you can just take a concealer that is the same shade as your foundation and just do that. And this is how you can pretty much make sure that your dark circles won't really show through. Now, unless you really want to highlight and everything and all this kind of stuff, you will definitely need a color corrector. But as you know me, I just don't really like to just like apply layers and more layers and more layers. And especially if you do have those really fine lines under your eyes, it's just eventually might not look good at the end of the makeup. So I kind of started to do that and I absolutely love it. And then again, you can always brighten a little bit, even if you did end up using, you know, the same foundation or any of that. You can definitely always kind of like use some brightening powder maybe underneath. I know Laura Mercier have one, so there is that. So this is what I kind of did recently. So this was just like another thing that I wanted to mention in this video, because again, we're already here and we're already speaking all about hacks and makeup. So that is my final look. Now, as you guys can see, the skin looks absolutely, I mean, amazing. And you guys also, in the beginning of the video, I do have acne. I'm not trying to hide it, but I mean, look at that. It's so stunning. It makes your skin look super flawless, especially your makeup and makeup application and all this kind of stuff. And yeah, honestly, I just really love this video and this hack, and I missed doing makeup here with you guys so much. But as most of you know, unfortunately, the industry kind of changes and YouTube is changing right now. From some reason, I don't know why. I mean, I saw Tati talks about that, you know, this week, and just like how no one gets notifications anymore, and it's kind of like really weird, this whole situation right now, because honestly I kind of feel like the fact that I did kind of like a makeup video and not something else today, this might as well just gonna get like 200 views, and it's kind of sucks because as you know, even when I started this channel, my views were not, you know, at this point. But anyways, as I mentioned, I really enjoyed making this video for you guys, so I do hope you guys really enjoy. One more thing that I do want to say, guys, make sure if you do want to get all the notification for my channel, this is something that happened very recently and I was not aware of. As I said, YouTube has changed. So all you have to do is just click the bell icon and then make sure you are pretty much just like mark all notifications, and then it should be sending you all my notifications. So there is that. And that is pretty much it. If you guys have tried it, or if you guys live in a very humid place, maybe in Miami or Hawaii, and try this trick and you want to let me know how it worked for you, then please let me know in the comment section below. And yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, make sure you follow me on Instagram, because we're doing a lot of hauls there and kind of like behind the scenes and kind of like everyday, you know, kind of slay things. So that is pretty much it. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye!